Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. So I want you to continue to pray for me by leaving a dislike on this video. My 200 pounds of bismuth is finally coming on Tuesday, and I'm really excited about pouring those 6-inch geodes, the ones I like to call dirty bombs. Bonus points if you know why I call them dirty bombs. Leave a comment. But please pray for my art career by leaving a dislike on this video. It's Memorial Day Eve, and I was thinking about how my art projects have completely emancipated me from all sorts of toxicity slash not having options in my life slash all sorts of other garbage. I was thinking about a couple Memorial Days ago when I didn't have the art projects yet. I do a lot of private tutoring gigs that I find on Facebook Marketplace, on Craigslist, and otherwise. I post ads locally as well. And in the past, I often would stick around and make myself available during these long weekends because some kids actually do want to study. And of course, there's no guarantee I'm going to get any hours. And I would hesitate. I would live in Seattle. I would hesitate about traveling to Ellensburg because what if their client is going to call me? Now that my finances are a little bit freer than that, I find that I can invest in things beyond just the immediate money, right? I can, for example, I just went to go see a movie. I wasn't worried that my phone's going to ring in the middle of the movie and maybe a student might want to see me. And so that's really emancipating. I cannot describe that feeling when you get to invest in other things besides that immediate paycheck, right? You get to invest in your good mental health. You get to invest in making new connections, right? So I got to network with a few other art galleries to see if they would consign my art. Not that I got very far with them, but the discussions really helped, right? Understanding the market out there. In the past, I didn't have the luxury to get to think about that, right? It was, where am I going to get the next $10 to get my next meal, right? Or am I going to have to live in my car when it's 100 degrees outside? I was stuck there, right? Now I'm thinking about how do I invest for the future, right? And so I thought I would point that it's really emancipating. The next time, the other place where this really plays out is that at my workplace, when I hear nonsense, I get to filter it out, right? So I talked about various toxic jobs. The truth is, I probably never had a really toxic job. What I had were toxic circumstances that allowed everything to be 10 times more toxic than it had to be. The truth is that I run into things that could be toxic right now at Phoenix College that don't bother me anymore because I have options, right? So I had a colleague who wanted to take his kids on vacation, but he wouldn't reciprocate when I had things that I wanted. Now that I don't need those hours so badly anymore, I'll do it if it's convenient for me, right? If not, I'm sorry, but I'm not scheduled for these hours. You know, what are we going to do, right? And so, unfortunately, at the time, I needed the hours, I needed the credibility. Very different circumstance. I had another colleague, I wouldn't say she's toxic. She was 19, 20 years old. She was living with her parents. And she was fascinated by all the healthy foods that I eat, right? Dark baking chocolate and the seaweed snacks and all that. And she asked if she could try some of my dark baking chocolate, and she kind of liked it. And I found myself eventually sharing so much of my food with her that it was costing me a small fortune. And I had mixed feelings about that. I had mixed feelings because it's not often that people actually agree with the way I eat, right? I often joke that if I had children and I fed my children the way I fed myself, you know, because a lot of this food looks so non-conventional. If I fed my children that way, I wonder if Child Protective Services would take my children away, because a lot of this stuff looks so unconventional, right? If my children were drinking non-alcoholic beer or kombucha, eating dark baking chocolate, And sometimes I collect wild berries. I mean, I know what I'm doing, but it's unconventional, right? The kids might be the healthiest in the world, but I think CPS might beg to differ, right? And unfortunately, I ended up sharing my food with her because I needed the camaraderie at the workplace. I needed to feel like I belong. Today I don't, right? If I don't belong, I move on, right? And unfortunately, I didn't have the option to do that at that time, right? I love it. I love how on Memorial Day Eve I could actually go out there and not worry if my phone's going to ring with a client that I need because of the money. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.